Hello again and welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having an absolute magical day. And thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. I truly appreciate it. My name is Hello Good Game, here to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena Deck Guide video. Shoutouts to Wizards of the Coast and Magic at Large for hosting this early access event. And most, or more, well, maybe not more importantly, just a little bit under that as far as the important priority goes, for inviting me. Truly grateful. Not only do we get some cool new decks, we get your boy back in action, Jackson. We take a little bit of a break here throughout the winter via hibernation. The Canadian winter, am I right? But we're back and happy to be showcasing some new content for you all. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Kick back, relax, and well, let's take a look at the build. This is a 60-card standard best-of-one deck for, of course, Aetherdrift, the newest set into standard. We're going to utilize 22 land on the build. It's a little aggressive, as our average is just 2.2, supported by 23 creatures and 15, would you believe it, 15 non-creatures. And then we're going to be discarding. We have Cycle included as a mechanic within the new set, which is just beautiful. Building around an old card. Heresy, yes. But a lot of the other cards are new. Seneschal of the Sun. Inti for 2 is a 2/2, and whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. It's going to gain trample until the end of turn. So that's really cool. Consistent damage output via that evasion. And of course, whenever you discard one or more cards, exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card until the end of your next step. So this is really cool because we will cycle, which is the discard of a card, to draw a card. And then because we discarded, we get access to an additional card off the top into exile to play for the turn. That's a 2-for-1, generating consistent card advantage for us throughout our matches, which is a lot of fun. And then, fill in the grave with those cards for Kiora Rising Tide, 3 mana, 3/2. Whenever it enters, you will draw 2 and then discard 2. So that's going to be really good for our deck. More on that in a second. Threshold here, so if we have 7 or more in our graveyard, we actually get to create, when it attacks, an 8/8 Octoputty, which is pretty decent. So, that's kind of the value that we're utilizing within that discard, right? We get trample, we get card advantage, and we get, the payoff as an 8/8, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to, build along the way with Marauding Mako, 1 mana, 1/1, and whenever you discard one or more cards, put that many +1 counters on this creature, and it has cycling itself, which is pretty decent, and it will be accompanied by the Scrounging Skyray, 1/2 with flying. Whenever you discard one or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature, same dealio, cycling for 2 as well. So, these creatures, this has evasion through flying. This can grab trample with Inti and hit for like 8-10 damage because it stacks up, right? Which is really cool. And our third payoff spell, not as important really, will be the Magmakin. This is a 3 mana 1/4. Whenever you discard one or more cards, this creature will deal that much damage to each opponent, and it has cycling, which is kind of why we're running it in the long run here. And whenever you cycle this card, it's going to deal 1 damage to each opponent, so that's pretty cool as well. And finally, but certainly not least, will be the Waxen Shapethief for 4 with flash, cycling 2, and you can have it enter as a copy of another artifact or creature that you control. We like to cycle. We like to copy, the Artillerist or the Skyray, which is pretty cool. I almost went to the Octopus, but it's actually a legendary. So that's pretty decent. But again, it's the cycling that we're really after, and if we get the payoff, that's fine too, right? That's not a problem. And then on the side, we will have the Brass Tunnel Grinder. Discard as many cards as you want, draw that many +1. Fantastic. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you've descended, that's going to have something go to the grave. You get a counter on it, and then when you get 3 counters, you'll transform it into the Searing Rift, tapping for mana. But when you cast a permanent with that mana, you will discover X, where X is that spell's mana value, which is pretty decent. Discovering is exiling off the top until you get a non-land with lesser mana value, right? Then you can play that for free. So that's pretty cool. The Edict's Memory, when it enters, draw a card, and no maximum hand size, which is pretty decent. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on a creature equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. So, sometimes we like to do our cycling beforehand. And again, this just, is part of the synergy where we're going to be drawing a ton of cards, not only through that cycling, but, the Rising Tide, for example. Inti doesn't draw, just goes into exile, so that doesn't really trigger it. But most importantly, Grinder, just in mass, discarding your whole hand, and then you're going to get all these +1 counters here, and then you're going to get basically double that on one of your creatures through the memory, which is great. And then you throw Trample on it, hit for $1 billion, right? $1 billion, really? Wow. We will have Into the Flood Maw here for 1 instant speed, bouncing non-land permanent, creature, and if you want to you can do a non-land permanent, but you got to gift them a tapped fish, right? So that's typically worthwhile. And then Burst Lightning, 2 damage, any target, kick it for an additional 4/5 total, for 4 damage instead, which is pretty decent. And of course, some protection, Spell Pierce, right? We don't want to lose our creatures, kind of dodge, removal, field wipes, prevent some of their value, while staying relatively cheap on the curve, which is pretty cool, right? Because we're a very aggressive deck, accumulating these +1 counters on Mako, on the Skyray, and if we can just protect them for a turn or two, we're good. So that's the deck, right? Really, really simple stuff. Obviously, getting your +1 counter engines are a priority, and then your Inti, which is your value engine, is your priority. These 3 cards are the most important. And then, you're kind of probably just focused on the Tunnel Grinder, getting that out to push up the crew and utilize the Trample, right? So these are our most important cards here in the middle, these 4. And then, to take advantage of that, the Rising Tide is really good. Edict's Memory is a little, it's not as good because this draws and discards, which is good for the overall synergy. The additional cycle is really nice. And then, we have to have some interaction within the deck. So that's that. I hope you enjoy. Decklist in the description below. Available in Arena in just a few days, which is super exciting. And if you want to see more content from myself, make sure to like the video. And I will do my best to provide it. Kick back, relax, and, let's see if we can win some games. All right, on the draw, keeping 7 3-land. Let's go. Turn 1, Mako in the house. Turn 2, Skyray. Turn 3, Artillerist. I gotta really hold up the... Don't we? Next turn. Pray that we get a turn. As soon as synthesizer hits, we're probably just gonna spend the rest of the day crying. Spider? It's not synthesizer. Should we just go for it? I think so. We keep Spell Pierce up. Bash. I'd rather lose the 2/3 than the spider. Understandable. So many lands. Now that really does save them, doesn't it? Pretty good. Oh, it's a non-creature. I think Spell Pierce isn't going to be relevant much longer. We should almost cycle this, I feel like. Let's hold on to it for now. I mean, we already have the Descend trigger going off, right? So it should be okay. There it is. And see, we wouldn't have been able to do much here anyways. Right? Do not mind. Peace! Oh, I get you, bruh! Inti gives trample on an 8/8, which goes to 9/9 and then takes it to 10/10. Woo! I still got it, baby. Oakley dokley. Mythic Mike on the play. We're gonna keep this? We're gonna mulligan this. I think we're gonna mulligan it. This looks better. Toss a land. Beautiful. But yeah, I mean, it's not crazy good, but honestly, the deck's been performing better than expected. That's a nice 2-drop for us as well. Kiora on 3. Well, no, we'll do our Magmakin first. Oh! I see you. That's really nice too, the Skyray. Maybe just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. Swing for 6 to 12. We have a double cycle if we need it. If not, we can Flood Maw. Alright, here's a cycle. What does this card do? Vehicles you control have haste. If a pirate... whenever you attack, if a pirate and a vehicle attacked, then you're going to draw 3 and discard 2. Which would be post Edict's memory trigger. Right, because your attack comes after that. Let's cycle. Push up. Free combat. Send it back. Could be a counterspell we'd like to know beforehand. Push up Kiora. Spread the butter. Swing for 11. Flash. Oh, not a blocker though. I thought we were going to lose the Rising Tide. Okay, we have 17 life. No blockers though. We're totally open. And this has haste. But then that's only 1 mana. They could play second. It has no haste. Does clue though. They hit for 6, draw a bunch of cards. Which again is post memory trigger. Let's just cycle quick, see what we got, see what we got, see what we got. Just cycle quick, see what we got, see what we got, see what we got, see what we got. We gotta get to 7, right? We do not. I don't get to 7 cards in the graveyard. So close. Fantastic match, Mike. Thank you so much. Good game. Going first, a bad land, you know? So we're gonna need to mulligan that. This looks better. Interaction. Oh, Spell Pierce, Spell Pierce. What if I don't need you? In on 1. 2, we can Flood Maw as well as our creature. This is pretty good. Probably just want to bounce the token. I'm going to toss it now so they're forced to spend their mana on the Exert. And then it's just a 1/1, and we can power through it. I'm going to keep Flood Maw because we can actually cast it. Maybe we get a land on the turn here. No. We do take our hit, though. Basri can re-exert, which is kind of a downside to bouncing it back to their hand, right? But ooh! Is that double lifeline? Have you seen such a thing? Ward 2. Shoot, we get this back. I should have done it first. I gotta do it. I should have done it first. I still gotta do it now before they untap, though. Alright, we could have had that +3 counters there. Alright, 3 additional damage to 9 it would have been. Ah, another Sheltered by Ghost. This card is so good. Could be worse. They've got a nice lifelink hit here, though, right? 3 left in hand. The Aether Spark. So it hits for 4? Or does it defend? It's a lot of loyalty if you hit it. And life. Up to 9. I kind of want to play it as a creature, but we should just look for a new card. It's not a land. This could be bad. They have a gajillion mana. They're going to draw 2. Go back up to 9. Like, I'm not winning that race. Oh, God. Nice. That's going to beat me. That's so good. Those cat defenders. Beautiful. I like cats too. Maya's not even upset. She likes it. The lifelink they have is crazy good. Ah, if only it was a burst lightning or whatever it's called. Then we would have been so close! But still no dice. Drawing 2. It's cool how it can just be in Planeswalker form. Right? Or creature form. That's pretty cool. Does this make more tokens? No, unless it flickers. The lifelink is a problem. Massively so. We got pretty close though. And they gained like 18 damage or something, I feel like. Some cycling. Give us the good stuff, huh? No! Another land. They have so many cards and they've got that double draw too, right? so many cards in hand with a double draw. There's no way they don't have an answer. We got crazy close, though. I like a good match at Magic. This was fun. I'm pretty positive they get it. But we got close. And they gained so much life throughout the process, too, right? Taking the hit. No block to 6. They go to 6. Tie game. They have a full... I don't have a single card. If they deal with Inti, we're done. And they could also just kind of fill the field up with blockers. That would be really good too, right? Don't touch Mako either. That's a kitty. Meow. Before combat would have been maybe better. Man. Hitting for 11. Retaining our defender. Oh, my landfall. Stop doing that. It's a third land in a row. But we get it? No way. How? How do you have no answer in your hand, homie? 5 cards. Oh, we just got crazy lucky. Good game. Going first, 2 land, but a beautiful 1/2. 3, really. Let's keep 7. This is London territory. Can we find that land though, right? Howdy, partner. There's a land in my boot? I hope there is soon. That third land would be beautiful. Are we crewing? Yeah. Nice hit for 2 to 18. BNL. Bare Naked Ladies, right? It's not a land. Grounds in play. Cycle or play it? Wait, this doesn't reduce cycling? I read online the cycling was an activated ability, but it's not a creature till it's in play. Oh, drop the card, drop the card. What's a creature in your hand though still? Or is it only a spell in your hand? What's a creature spell? Which is different than a creature? Yeah, probably one with flying. So maybe we should have just straight up cycled. No blocks. 1 for 2 again. That lifelink's gonna suck eventually. That's still not a land. Brutal! Okay. This is not working out. Did you know Training Grounds doesn't reduce the cost of cycling? So it's a creature, but it's just not a creature you control is the problem, right? Because it's still in your hand, so you're not technically in control of it because it's not in play. I think that's it's an activated ability, yes, but they're not creatures you control well in hand, and that's been my disconnect. Still not a land. My lord. A little late, but we'll take it. Can you? I don't think you can, unless they flash out. Should we take it so they don't get the life gain? Nah, let them have the life gain. One, that's fine. Their lifelink probably is going to sway the game in their favor. One would assume. More pilots. Another land out. Hit with the glide car. Five plus life gain. And the counter, of course. We're just so far beyond where we need to be. Land and tapped, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think we have much of a choice. We were just so slow off the start there, right? Gearing up a little bit here. But, you know, again, losing our creature there. To 18. This puts us to 7. But they're still just going to hit us with flying, right? With the hover ships off a crew. Good game. A little slow for us to start, but getting there. All right, we're back. Opponent's going to go first. We're on the draw. Llanowara's gonna get burned up. No ramp for you. No, this person whooped us in our first match, so I'm not looking forward to our second. Same deck as well. I like Sentinel. It's good. Map token's great. I don't think we can even deal with it either. Are we brave enough to attack? No, we're not. We're cowards. I don't think we're going to need this as much. And then Inti can go. We're going to keep that next land. exploring for the land. It's a vacuum. To the grave. For a chunk Orama. That's for certain. No blocks. The vigilance is not great. I don't know why they didn't equip. Does that make sense? That's a cool card. Just bounce it, take our hit. Discard the thief. See what we get first before we bounce it. Oops. Forgot about the crew. Maybe it sets us up for a turn. We should have waited for them to declare a block. I forgot all about the vehicle. I'm fresh back to the game. Already misplaying. Alright, map token. They need a land. They're gonna crew up? No. Let's just toss both of these lands. That takes us to 7. And it's 2 damage as well. We draw 3. We just want the 8/8 by any means. And they can still death touch it, right? That collar's so good. Land. +1 counter. Another land. 2 unknowns in hand. Collar on the Sentinel, right? And then just crew the Elf and the Walker. Double crew. Swing for 9. Ew! That's brutal. That gets us. That gets us real good. A good game to use. Always let them finish out. It's like an extra second. Let them have some fun, you know? Woof! Well, oakley dokley. This has been my 3rd video in 3 months. Impressive, I know. Third video in 3 hours. No, we've been here since 11, 6 hours so far of recording. We had a lot of technical difficulties. You'll notice things are nearly perfect. Having some trouble recording in 4K. It gets stuttery. I don't know how to solve it, but that's, you know, that's fine. That's for another thing. We're almost in 4K. We're like in that one resolution lower, 1440, right? And it seems to be fine. But in the last few videos before I left, there was that issue. I couldn't figure it out. We did today kind of get a hold of that and turn down that resolution. I don't know why it wouldn't work. Maybe I need another PC. I've got a pretty good computer, so it doesn't really make sense to me why it wouldn't work. But we'll keep plugging away on that. Maybe if any of you have any suggestions, hit me up in the comments or whatever. And I hope you enjoyed the deck, right? I hope you enjoy the other Aetherdrift videos we've put out for you. I've been doing my best. It's like a 20-hour event or something. And of course, we've got other stuff to do, and we have to take care of ourselves with sleep and what have you as well. So doing our best. 3 videos so far. I'm going to maybe try to do another 1 or 2, and then we'll pace them out, obviously, as we wait for the new set to come out on the channel. And then we'll hopefully hit it with some routine again. Yeah? Sound like a deal? Cool beans. Have a magical day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next.